Morning everybody, it's Matt from Investor Trade. It's Monday 13th of July 2020, and I wanted to show you or share with you this technique which we can use in some of the advanced strategies. This is on MetaTrader form. You don't get this, I don't believe, on TradingView, and it's one of the setups. I'm going to talk you through Germany 30 or DAX, obviously a German stock market index. Some of the basic setup we got on here. These blue boxes represent cash open. The second box and all the way through actually is then to the futures. This is immediately after market closes and overnight futures Asian session, the rest of the US session. So blue is cash, white is futures. On here, really basic setup, but this can be used to great strengths. We've got RSI 5 mixed with a color Osma. So again, similar to awesome oscillator, but you can get a bit more out of this setup. Which again, I don't believe you can get on TradingView. Apologies if that's incorrect, but I do like the clarity of this on MetaTrader. So again, very generally, you'll be taught, or people will tell you these tools, above the line is a buy and below the line is sell. So in this instance, you'd have green would be buy, pink would be sell. You can change these setups, so it gives you advanced warning of a change. Obviously, hopefully you can see on the screen here is a slightly darker pink and then a lighter, it's almost peach color there. However, this strategy, you'll see the way this technique is actually set up, the strategy is set up, you've actually got a timing cycle. So these dots, you will see various dots across here. Obviously, this dot's max out, and we were then looking for a signal for sell. Obviously, comes at this point, you get this mad rush up. And again, we're using this to our advantage for this side as well. We're looking at potential setups, potential reversals, and whether it goes up. The particular point which I'm looking to show you is obviously what's happened since pre-market Friday, which is sort of down here. Then had this huge gap up, and so far this morning that has been sold. Although we are looking at potential support above that previous resistance line along these levels. But this specifically, you will notice just as a very general pattern that RSI, which is a single blue line, will follow generally the Osma, okay? And you want them tracking. What I'm showing you today, I'm just going to highlight this now, is when you get huge divergence. So I will show you what happened Friday. We had this area there, okay, where the RSI seemed to get really, really weak. A lot quicker, and the Osma didn't really support that. So we had the divergence again between the Osma, which suggested the huge bounce was going to be coming in. See that on that gradient there. So huge divergence. So end of move was being signaled. We had obviously price was making a low diverge, and the Osma was making a high low. So again, we always look for that. This has resulted coming down from a low of roughly 12,400. We've gone up to 12,878 so far. So nearly a 500 point move purely just using that. But the second signal, just to add that, which you won't get using awesome oscillator just by itself, is this huge gap. Here you got a bounce. It came really oversold. RSI was tracking. Lovely. It came up. But here you get that divergence. So there's two things to look at. We've got the divergence of price. The price made a lower low. Osma made a higher low. But to double that and to really look at this, we've used this big pink box which shows RSI just way oversold, and that's getting ready to then coil and bang, up we go. 500 point move in a couple of trading sessions. Absolutely brilliant. And those are the signals. So you are looking for that divergence, but when you combine the two tools together, so on here you will just drag and drop RSI into the Osma, you've got that big gap between the two, and that is your buy signal there, which would have resulted in a great move. What I would then use to look for our targets, we use the first pullback. So price came up, first pullback, and then we put the 100% fib here, 0% on that first pullback, and we look for 261. If 261 breaks and goes 423, that came all the way up here, 851. Okay. Secondly, which I will touch upon now, is not the main lesson for this learning. This learning video here is again that divergence and the double divergence where RSI doesn't line up with the Osma. Okay, I will look at price. I say, right, well, this move down here it's taken out the stop loss and has confirmed the end of the move, so we can then go back up. And for an Elliott wave count, I think we're probably now in wave 5, and we'll be looking for a decent pullback shortly to retrace that move. One of the techniques used is the day before, the cash open of the day before, I'll place a fib, okay, from the high and the low. And what I'll do is, sorry, of cash open of the cash price. And I'll know that if I've got that divergence, my target for the next trading sessions coming up will be a 1618, okay? So if the previous cash open, when I get the end in the reversal, I look for the previous cash, and as long as we're around about that minus 113 fib, as long as it doesn't go much beyond there, okay, we're then looking for 161.8 extension. So I've drawn that as a cash session, comes down, bang. So that comes up to, not far off. The high was 878 and that was 870. But before you get there, obviously this is easy because it's happened. But what we do to forecast the price is use this, use the 423. I would draw my box between the two, and you know that if you're getting in, you put your stop loss down here, but if you're getting in this area where you've got that huge double divergence, so divergence, and between the two, you're accurately, even if you got in between 456 and 422, even in this area, you're then talking a 400 plus pip move. So it's really key tool to be using there. I'm just going to put this on here and we'll title this chart. So Invexa trade 13th July. And if you want to screenshot that, you can save that somewhere and it will remind you of that technique. So again, to look for the entry, we're looking for double divergence, you combine the RSI with the Osma, look how that overshoots a 2. And there we go. Now just to give you another example of where that's happened, and we were looking at this Friday night when it went past our 730, which was really the maximum, because we had these sort of levels here, and we said if it went above 730, then it's obviously going a lot higher, which it did. Here we've got exactly the same thing happening, okay? So here we've got Osma's making lower, okay? But RSI, can you see it's not as extreme as this, but RSI we had this big gap there, bang, came down overnight. So even there, just from there, 800 to 700 pip drop, and that's only a small divergence. So again, you want to be looking at these things. You want to be using these tools to your advantage and saying, right, where does it overshoot? Here, just looking at my eyes, I can see it overshot there massively. Then it jumped from 485, 673 to nearly 200 pip move. So again, you have to monitor this. Use this as one of your tools in your tool bag for slightly more advanced. But just keep it. You combine the two and you say, right, where did it really jump extreme? Just scrolling back, just to prove this and test it. Here you've got a huge gap. Look. So again, bang. This is, it's really beautiful when you start finding these tools. You really start noticing. So Osma there, so joining the bottom pink, and they say, right, what's happening? Well, price is going lower. So hang on a minute, reversal is due. And they say, well, where's my entry? It's fair, it's tracking okay, but it's when it comes down here, look at the gap between bottom of the pink there and the RSI, and then what happens? So the low's 473, bang, straight up. 843, so huge move. So again, just look at this, just use your tools. There's no thought involved there. I don't need to think, oh, there's some news article coming out, jobless figures, Trump, China, trade war, trade deal, none of that. Doesn't matter. Forget it, ignore it. If you're an algorithm, you don't listen to that. You are using this. You are saying, right, well, when X gets to Y, we're likely to see a reaction for Z. So again, just simply using that. There's your technique. If you use nothing else, forget. I'm not even using moving averages. All I've done there is look at Osma, how is it behaving, and I'm using for reversals. Bang, up we go. I've then got my target, and you're making 400 pip move, £5 a pip, £2,000, 2 sessions. Easy money, low risk, high reward. Okay, so that's Matt from Invexa Trading. Make sure you subscribe, like, follow, share, comment. All these tools we're giving out is really to give people a chance of realistic chance of making some money and not losing money. That's the most important thing. Don't fall into traps. Don't do what everyone else teaches you. Follow Invexa Trading, and we'll make you money. Okay, signing off.